Hi, my name is Hilke and I am the knitter behind Halu the Ugly Bunny. Today we are going to do three things. First, I will give you an update about what has been going on, and that's not really knitting related, but it is related to the second part, which will be about a project or a promotion, and that is knitting related. And then in the end, I am going to show you what I have been knitting in the last few weeks, and it's not much, but I do hope that it's still interesting because it is going to show you what I have planned. Yeah, let's start at the beginning. So if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that February was not a great month for me. At the beginning of February, it was my father's birthday, so I went home to visit my family. And the thing is, my father, he's chronically ill, and before that, we already knew that his treatment wasn't going too well. So we were already worried. And while I was there were different doctor's appointments scheduled. And during one of these doctor's appointments, we got the news that my grandpa had died. And so before I continue, my grandpa, he was 91. And for 90 years, he had a good and healthy life. So up until May last year, he was still living alone at home. And I mean, he had lunch delivered and he had a cleaning lady and my parents did his grocery shopping. But aside from that, he got up in the morning, he dressed himself, he made himself breakfast. Then he had his lunch delivered, obviously. But he read the entire newspaper. He was interested in everything and he was informed, and you could talk to him about anything that was going on in the world. And if he needed a handyman or if he needed a doctor's appointment, he took care of all of that himself. And he also did his own laundry. So yeah, he was still very much independent in his 90 years. But yeah, then in May, he told us that he could no longer live on his own and that he wanted to move to a nursing home. So at the beginning of May, he moved to the nursing home, and starting from that, everything went downhill very, very quickly. It all started with a stay at the hospital. And the thing is, what we didn't know at that point was that every time he went to the hospital, he got delirious. So at first, we were very scared because he was super confused. And we talked to the doctors, and the doctors were like, well, he's 90, he has dementia. And obviously at that point, he did not have dementia. But anyway, he was very confused, but then he was released from the hospital and he went to the nursing home. And then in the beginning, he would still kind of come back from those visits. Like you could then talk to him. He was less confused. I mean, he was not like he had been before, but he still recovered. And at that point, he already could no longer walk on his own. So he already was in a wheelchair. And then during one of his other hospital stays, because he went on to go to the hospital a lot in the last year, he broke his wrist. So after that, he was also no longer able to use his right hand. And then in, I think it was July, he had an eye infection that got so bad that he became blind. And the thing is, my grandpa, he was someone who almost never complained about anything. Like he always tried to make the best out of his situation. So when he went blind, what was really, really sad was how frustrated and how desperate and how sad he was. So it was really, really hard to watch him suffer like that. And I think it was in November, he had another operation, so he went back to the hospital and they did a corneal transplant, but that was just to cure the infection. So it was no longer to help him see again. And the thing is, now that he had died, I thought I wanted to do something nice that sort of had to do with his suffering. I don't know if that makes sense. And the thing is, I do know that people are very different. Like, yes, for him, it was very hard. I mean, not everyone suffers like that, but still, I looked online and I found the Christian Blind Mission. And what they do is they go into developing countries and they try to help prevent illnesses that can lead to blindness, but they also cure blindness and they help people who are already blind better cope with their blindness in their everyday life. So I don't know if you know this, but there's this disease called cataract, and if you have it and it is left untreated, then you will go blind from it. And there's also surgery that can cure cataract. And the thing is, even if before the surgery you are already blind, then after the cataract operation, you will be able to see again. So what really struck me and what I found to be really shocking was that this surgery with the Christian Blind Mission in the developing countries costs 30 euros. 30 euros. I mean, I do have skeins of yarn in my household that almost cost 30 euros. And that is the difference between someone being blind and someone being able to see again. I mean, to me, that was like, I mean, I couldn't imagine before I read that it would only take 30 euros for that kind of operation to happen. So I thought we would do the following now. So as you know, I have stopped dyeing yarn some time ago, but I still have a couple of skeins left in my online shop. So I want to give you guys a discount of 20% starting now for 1 week. And during that time, if you go to my Etsy shop and you buy a skein of yarn, you will save 20%. But after those 20%, what is left of that, the winnings I will donate to the Christian Blind Mission. So in order to sweeten the deal a little bit, if you say, I already have enough yarn, I don't need any more, then I'm also putting a few of the pairs that I have, a pair of socks that I have knitted in the last few months, I will also put them in the shop. And I have already shown you in the last video the pairs that I have knitted at the end of 2023, but I have finished another pair in the meantime, which is this one. And I think this is also really nice. I mean, you might recognize it because I think I have already shown you the toe in the wedge toe tutorial. And yes, so I will also put these up. So if you don't want to buy yarn, you can buy socks. Not just for yourself, you can also just gift them, right? So we will do that. And I am now going to show you a couple of skeins that are still in the shop that you will be able to buy, because obviously, I mean, not in every colorway there's enough left to, I don't know, make an entire sweater of it, but all of the yarns have a length that is pretty, that can be, how do you say, combined with other brands. So for example, the sock yarns are 400 meters in 100 grams, which is pretty standard. So this is the first sock yarn that I want to show you. And this colorway is called Raspberry Chip Ice Cream, and it has a light pink base with pink speckles and brown speckles here. And I think I have 2 or 3 more skeins of this in the shop currently. And then the other sock yarn that I wanted to feature is this one. And this colorway is called Almost Unique. And it is a green. It has different tones of green and brown. And then you can see there's also almost orange tones in here and a little bit of blue also. And I have I have quite a lot of skeins of this left actually. And the nice property of this sock yarn is that this is completely plastic free. So the other one that I just showed you has 25% of nylon in it, and this one does not have nylon in it. Instead it has, and that's the thing, I know the German word for it, it is Brennnessel, so Rami, which is 20% of it is Brennnessel or Rami, but I am actually not sure what it is called in English, so I will have to put subtitles here so that you can see it. But anyway, it's made from plants and it is plastic free, and therefore I think this is a nice alternative to your usual sock yarn. So now we switch to the 100% merino yarn, and I want to show you this one because this one is a nice shade of brown with orange and brown tones in it, different ones, and then you also have these little navy parts here, and it is called, the colorway is called Driftwood and Pebbles. And the nice thing about this yarn is that this is merino high twist, so the higher twist gives it a little bit more of a definition, which I quite like. And this is also 400 meters in 100 grams. And then this one here is another yarn that is 100% merino, and the colorway is called Fulfillment. It is a green colorway. You can see here we have the quite bright green parts here, and then there's blue in here, and it also has a little bit of purple speckled. So yeah, this is Fulfillment. This is also 100% merino, 400 meters in 100 grams. So now we leave the 100% merino for a detour, and this is a merino silk yarn. So this has 20% of silk in it. The colorway is called Powder Puff. It is a light pink base with pink and blue speckles. And I think I have enough left of this. Actually, I'm not sure. I think maybe 4 skeins or something. So might be enough for a shawl or a sweater. I'm not sure. And then last one is this one, and this one is Clear Sky. It is a merino decay yarn, and it is one of the very few colorways that I have that is almost solid. So this is a very light and very clean blue, and I also have other colors because I was at one point, I was dyeing some colors for a striped sweater that I wanted to knit, and I have kept 1 skein of each color for myself to knit that striped sweater, but I still haven't gotten around to actually knitting it. So yeah, so all of those colors that I was planning to use in the sweater are still available in the shop. Yeah, I think those were all of the skeins that I wanted to show you. I would be very happy if you would participate in the promotion because, as I said, I think it's a nice project, and I would be happy if we were able to donate some money to it. Yeah. Okay, so lastly, I wanted to show you what I have been knitting on. And the first sock, I've been working on 3 socks, but the third one I cannot show you because it is still the same secret project that I keep talking about here and there. But this is still actually very nice because, as you can see, this is a striped sock, and the pattern is actually not new. The pattern is the Mini Twist socks pattern that I have designed a couple of years ago. I mean, at least 4 years ago. And the thing is, I am currently in the process of reworking those patterns because the thing is, I have changed the design of my patterns a lot during, I think, the last 2 years. And I'm now finally at a point where I'm like, I am now happy with the design, and I have also changed how I write up the patterns a little bit. And I want, ideally, I want all of my patterns to have the same design, the same kind of language. So that's why I'm starting to rewrite the patterns. And also, the original pattern used only one color, and I want to try to make some of the patterns in a way that you could also incorporate stripes. So that is what I am currently working on with this specific pattern. And then, which is also related to that, I have started a second sock, which is this one. And this one is the Hearts Socks pattern that I have also released, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And it is a very popular design, and I still very much like it, but I also want to transfer it to my new way of writing and also to the new design. And for this one, I am not looking to incorporate stripes because it is going to be a 2-color version anyway, but I want to see how different yarns, how they affect the gauge and the fit, because the original yarn was a little bit thicker, and I am now using a yarn that is 420 meters in 100 grams. So I am very, I'm very excited to see how the fit will be. Yeah, so that's what I am doing. I do hope to also do this for the other patterns, but it is quite a lot of work. So that's why I am starting to do this with the more popular patterns. Yes, I have already shown you one pair of socks that I have completed. The other one is this pair. And the thing is, I have already shown you these socks in the last video, but the last time I showed them to you, I think I was stuck somewhere here around the heel. And now I have completed them, because this is actually the pattern that went online on Valentine's Day. And the socks are called Cupid's Cottontail socks. And I think the last time the hearts here was still missing. And now we also have a second color work here shortly before the toes, and that is exactly the same heart pattern that we have here at the top. So yeah, as I said, Cupid's Cottontail socks, and yeah, they are available on Ravelry and on Halu.de, but I think by now you already know that. Yeah, so that was everything that I have knitted. I have shown you the shop, so I think that's all for today. And yeah, as I said before, I would be very happy if you would join the promotion. Aside from that, I hope you will have a lovely rest of your day. I hope you will find some time to knit, and I hope we will see each other again very soon. Bye!